just really slow at doing the things that I have fun at. I don't know.
I've been going through my... Well, I kind of get that. I've been going through my back catalog of video games, and I've come to the realization that I probably wouldn't need to buy another one for like the next 10 years.
Dude, I literally... Yeah, no, I feel...
The amount of video games I
it's
have.
like... especially like having PlayStation Plus, the amount of free video games I've gotten.
Yeah, I mean, with PlayStation Plus, I finally played Uncharted. Played? I probably played it.
I played it today. I did the game. Guys.
Because I think I asked you, I was like, should I download Uncharted? And you were like, have you ever played it? And I was like, no. You're like, yeah. Download it.
Yes.
And it was like one of the best games I've ever played in my entire life.
Sorry, Uncharted 4 was the first one you played, wasn't it? Oh, man.
I have the whole collection. I'm like halfway through the first one. And like I have...
That's a rough play.
It's just old.
Exactly. So
Yeah, it's just old. It's kind of... The whole intro is ridiculous, too.
Cool. Well, we're not doing a side B, so maybe we should actually get into this. You want to lead us in?
This is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape.
What's up, everybody? Oh, Tommy doesn't have his headphones on.
I can still hear you.
Oh, that's a fair point. We are sitting 6 feet from each other, but across a room, like you can. Yeah,
Never put that together.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Hey, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Yeah. Everyone's gonna have a happy New Year because this one's over.
Right? Yeah. I mean, time is a construct, and it's just going to continue moving forward. I kind of have a weird thing about that in my review today, but
Great.
I mean, not like super depressing or anything.
It's gonna get all meta up in this bitch.
It's how I live. That's how I thrive. That's how my brain understands our reality. So happy New Year, everybody. I hope everyone, is not too hungover or anything, or, is looking forward to this year of 20.
The year of 2020 just being over.
Year of 2020 being over. Going into 2021. Hopefully starting fresh and new. We got a vaccine coming. That's cool. We got 2 vaccines that are approved, actually. FDA approved. One Pfizer and one with, I can't remember. I think it's it's not, I wanted to say Marigold, but that's a creamery.
I'm sure there's a bit in there somewhere.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. But yeah, so this...
Now I'm just scared for I Am Legend happening.
Oh, have you seen memes for that?
Oh, no, I just...
Oh, no, there's been so many memes of like, if not I Am Legend, just like...
Umbrella Corporation.
Yeah, just people turning into zombies or some type of mutated creation. I mean, we would have seen it happening already because there's been like people getting it. So, yeah. Hello.
No, sorry. I was just just like
you went somewhere in your mind.
Because every zombie movie ever, it's like the zombie apocalypse happens like in a day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like. That made me laugh. The whole we would know about it. And it's like, well, every movie ever is like shit goes to hell real quick.
Okay. I was gonna try to defend that maybe we wouldn't, but no. It just depends how fast it would spread. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, I don't know. The government sucks. Anyway, okay, so.
Tangent aside,
in celebrate or in heart of the new year, I guess, or in whatever, we decided to review a movie that revolves around New Year's Eve to New Year's Day.
Yeah, this is like kind of we were talking about the holiday movie episode. It's like it's not a New Year's movie. It takes place.
It's definitely
it takes place during, but it's like. Doesn't really.
I kind of consider it a New Year's movie.
Okay.
Because like
the movie we're talking about is 4 rooms.
We're doing 4 rooms. Yeah, we're doing 4 rooms. Which I guess like it's not. I don't know. Why wouldn't it be a New Year's movie?
No, it's like no. I'm just saying like we were talking about. It's like like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is a Christmas movie, but it's not.
But the storyline of Kiss Kiss Bang Bang has so much more wrapped around it besides like Christmas, while literally every single vignette or a short story in this has something to revolving around it becoming the new year. And I guess except for one One of them
No,
is...
two of them. Only the last two really like have the...
No, because in the first one...
Wait.
What?
We're starting to talk about them. Let's introduce the movie.
Okay,
Pause.
Yeah. We'll have that conversation later.
Okay, so Four Rooms, 1995.
Yes, released actually December 25th on Christmas Day.
Oh, cool. I didn't realize that. I didn't write that down.
That was actually really cool. I thought that was kind of like a very weird, dark comedy to be released on Christmas Day.
Very particular kind of group would go see it.
Also, this movie is very... it's not a lot of people know it, or they've only heard of it. You know, like
I had no idea until you brought it up.
Yeah, because like the box office, it like in the year, since it was released on December 25th, I wanted to look at the in year thing, and it was 151.
Yeah,
and then the calendar year, so just like the week and a half that it was in box office for the actual like of 1995, it was like 201. So which means that it only had like a big box office, like a big opening weekend, and it'd probably run very much longer after that, you know?
Did you realize also that this is our third
1995?
So next movie we got to make sure is somewhere else.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We keep going to the 90s. We should definitely try to find something maybe either like 70s.
I love 70s.
Or maybe 80s. We haven't done anything 80s yet, I think. Yeah, we did. We did Scrooge, but I'm talking about
Willow?
I mean, we haven't released.
Oh, yeah. I keep forgetting about it. We have a lot of episodes that we haven't released. I keep forgetting about it.
Or maybe we do a new movie. We would try that. You know, we'll see.
I guess we kind of do with Ready Player One.
No, I mean like a new movie.
2020.
Yeah, something like maybe like, I don't know. We got time to figure it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Four Rooms. It doesn't have. Has 4 different directors and 4 different writers, and the directors who did it's the same director and writer for each short story. And then the only thing that kind of is outplaced is Chuck Jones directed the animation bit at the top.
Yeah, and Chuck Jones is kind of like
he's a legendary cartoonist,
seasoned Looney Tune director, art director.
Yeah.
And basically it's 4 groups of various characters harass newly hired bellhop is what I put down.
I like that.
For the 10-word synopsis.
Yeah. And it was created by these 4 friends, by these 4 people, and the 4 people are Allison Anders, Alexandra Rockwell, Robert Rodriguez, and Quentin Tarantino. So it's pretty much these 4 friends just kind of like, I don't know. I tried to find like history of like, how was this movie made? Why was this movie made? And I couldn't really find anything. Could you find anything?
I couldn't find anything, but just because I mean, with Allison, Anders, and Rockwell, I was looking.
They don't have much.
They have a lot of like. It seems they have a lot of indie.
Yeah, indie, and then also and indie and Mexican.
Yeah, indie Mexican, and then TV like episodes of TV shows.
Yeah.
But just because of how I have seen Rodriguez and Tarantino's way of making film, they probably were just sitting around one day,
high on coke,
talking, and then I was
just talking about like how people treat bellboys or something.
Just talking, and then it could have been just like, I don't know, it could have been
because this came out for Tarantino shortly after Pulp Fiction and and after Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, I was gonna say Reservoir Dogs was before this, right?
Yeah. And like Reservoir Dogs was really his big hit. Rodriguez had done, I think, Desperado. Or not, yeah, Desperado. Oh, no, what was the one before El Mariachi?
Oh yeah, El Mariachi, and then Desperado, and then Once Upon a Time. No, are there 4 or 3? I can't remember.
Once Upon a Time, he didn't do till like 2000.
Yeah.
So
yes, El Mariachi, Desperado. Then he did From Dusk Till Dawn.
This is also our second Robert Rodriguez. Because we premiered with The Faculty.
Oh shit! Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I think that's and then Once Upon a Time in Mexico came out in 2003.
Yeah, but before Four Rooms, his big things were El Mariachi and Desperado, right?
Yeah, and then From Dusk Till Dawn. No, Four Rooms came out after that. Sorry.
Four Rooms came out after.
Yeah, so it's El Mariachi and then Desperado are like 2 of those big ones. Yeah. And
then and then Allison Anders and Alexander Rockwell. I mean, there's nothing that I noticed that really stood out with them. I did notice that I think it was Rockwell. She's actually worked a lot more with Quentin Tarantino on other things.
Well, I was looking at her,
or maybe it was
her director list, and I do remember I wanted to see Sweet Thing.
Okay.
That came out this year. I remember seeing a trailer for that. But then the other ones, I mean, because she has 12 credits.
Yeah.
And a couple of them sound familiar. But the one that really stood out being like, oh, I remember seeing a trailer for this and really wanted to see it was Sweet Thing.
Okay. And yeah, Allison Anders, she, like, the one that kind of stood out to me was Mi Vida Loca, which was the one that's pretty much released right before Four Rooms.
What is Mi Vida Loca?
It translates to My Crazy Life, and I don't know, it sounded familiar, but I've never actually seen it. But like, just childhood best friends in contemporary LA, poor Hispanic neighborhood. One of them becomes pregnant by his boyfriend, drug dealers involved. I mean, it's something about it sounded very familiar to me, and I don't know why.
Yeah, and then with Anders too, then she definitely went more into a lot of TV, writing and directing stuff.
But yeah, so the 4 shorts were written and then directed by the respective person, and then the only thing that really ties this entire movie together is Tim Roth, who plays Ted the Bellboy. And Tim Roth's one of both of our favorite actors.
I love Tim Roth.
Yeah.
Like, he's one of those, I'll watch something because he's in it.
Yeah.
Because he's also got just one of those weird careers.
Oh, yeah.
He's been all over the place. But also, like, he's interesting, too, because a lot of the time he's not... I find him in the back a lot.
He's more of, like, the side character?
Yeah, and but I feel like he's great.
I mean, yeah. He is phenomenal in this movie.
He's so weird.
He's so good in this goddamn movie.
Well, like, something I want to point out too, that especially
actually, sorry, really quick, I do want to say that his performance in this movie was one of the reasons why I wanted to become a physical actor.
Oh,
like, it was a big inspiration to me on, like, it's like I could do so much more without words.
That's fair. I could see that. Oh, but like, that's something kind of interesting. Like, since we're in the new year and everything, this is our first kind of like anthology type movie that we've done, and I didn't really realize it until I was taking the notes. I was like, my format, I have no idea how to do this.
I know, that was the same thing for me. I'm like, how do I note this? How am I going to write a review?
And then talking about all the particular actors and all the different like 20-minute segments. And it was just like, this is going to be like, so I'm going to apologize ahead. This might be a total shit show all over the place.
It's going to be great, man. We're going to do, man.
Okay, Mr. Bighead. Yeah. Oh, that was more like Mrs. Bighead.
No, Rocco. Wait. Mr. Big has more back here.
Yeah, he's like, hello, Rocco.
Hello, Rocco.
Oh, Rocco.
There we go.
They're like 2 of my favorite characters in the animated series.
Hello there, Mr. Bighead.
Oh, that was good.
Thank you.
That's a good Rocco. Oh, yeah, but also like with the whole...
Where did we go?
We'll just jump back to... So we're not going to go over the box office again.
No, yeah, there's no... I mean, the number 1 was Batman Forever and Toy Story. Yay!
But I will, like, with the jumping on what you said about it being number 151, it grossed 4,200,000 and some change. Let's just say that. I don't want to do the entire thing. With a budget of $4 million.
So it just made its money back.
Barely made its money back. Yeah. Which I'm not surprised about because of what this movie is.
No, exactly. This is definitely like there's a reason why this movie. I don't think it had much promotion to begin with. The only big names on it are really Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino, but it's such the beginning of their careers that like they're still kind of like making a name for themselves. I think Tarantino was the biggest with with Pulp Fiction, and Robert Rodriguez definitely with El Mariachi and Desperado. But
Tarantino's the one picking up the most heat.
Yeah,
he was on going on his trajectory.
Yeah,
to the mid '90s and then 2000s.
Yeah.
You know, this was like his build up on the runway kind of thing. Yeah. But yeah, it's a really, really strange movie.
Yeah, it is. Did you find some reviews?
Oh,
you want to go into reviews?
Okay,
because we're definitely going to be talking more about actors as we go. Like I think, short by short.
So again, just a kind of little thing. These are like main sentences out of the reviews. This isn't like they had obviously more that they had to say, but these are like the big lines. Janet Maslin from the New York Times. Short films set in crumbling hotel, self-indulgent cellar dweller. It's like, okay.
I can see that. I get that.
I kind of get that too. Mark Salisbury, which I love that last name. That's awesome. Empire. QED. Anthology films never work. Tarantino is not infallible. Casting Madonna as a lesbian witch and Willis in a silly party hat doesn't necessarily make for great entertainment. And I was like, and it's great because I always write these before I watch it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Bruce Willis in a silly hat. That's lesbian Madonna. Okay, like let's.
Like,
what are we getting into? Like. And I was just like, oh yeah, it's Tarantino and his friends. Of course, there's going to be some shit like that.
Right. All right. So my review, I tried my, I debated between writing a longer review and actually like breaking down each like short, each room, I should say, into the review, but it would just get too long.
Mm-hmm.
And I think as we talk about each room, I'll like kind of have just like some quick thoughts on with it, like what it worked with it and what didn't work with it. So this review is kind of like more of the movie as a whole, which is it was kind of hard to write, but I think I kind of
because you have 4 different directors
exactly
writing their own.
But there still needs to be a through line in the movie, like for most that would make this movie work, and that's kind of like a thing. The only thing with that there is for that is Tim Roth.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. All right, so here's the review written by Jacob Lee Henthorne, myself.
You got to think of a better name for that segment, bro.
the
Henthorne's review.
The Henthorne review. The Lee Henthorne. No, oh God. Okay, moving forward. Here's the review. 4 Rooms is a movie that does a good job at representing the darker side of the passing of time. Being set on New Year's Eve into New Year's Day, it doesn't really have any moments of real resolve in between the 4 stories that Ted the Bellboy finds himself stumbling through, being the only worker on the night of the New Year. However, that's what really works for this film. Like in life, there are only moments of time that pass until another moment in time comes, like different chapters, one might say. Each story has its own unique flavor of dark comedy. While some do better than others, the constant factor that is the through line of the movie and moves it forward and keeps us drawn in for more is Tim Roth's performance as Ted the Bellboy. As the obstacles of the night never quite let up for him, Ted finally finds himself at the end of his New Year's shift with an actual choice. The first real choice he has in the entirety of the film. Even though quite dark, after Ted is able to make his choice, there is a strange, subtle sense of catharsis that allows the audience to let go of the film and understand that it's over, even though the events carry on through part of the credits, but so does time with us. Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's because I didn't really get it, this movie, very much.
What do you mean you didn't get it?
I don't know. We'll get into that. I just didn't.
Well, I mean, now is the time to get into it. Do you not? Is it just because like the 4 short story, like there's no like beginning, middle, and end to this movie? There's a beginning, middle, and end to each short. But there's still Tim Roth's character whose beginning, middle, and end is the beginning of it, because it starts off with him and the old it's like the old bellboy guy, the older gentleman, like passing the
bellman.
I like the passing of the torch type thing where he gives Ted the bellboy hat, and he leaves him with some advice of stay clear of night clerks, kids, hookers, and married arguments. And then ends up with, and keep your cock in your pants.
Which is all like kind of like
literally everything he does.
Foreshadowing of
100% foreshadowing of
his
like
coming evening.
how this evening's going to unfold for him, because he's not going to stay clear any of that.
Out of 1, 2, 3, and 4, which one was your favorite?
It's actually really hard for me to like really decide if like the fourth one or the third one and the fourth one, because the third one is Robert Rodriguez's one, and that's called The Misbehaviors, and it has one of my favorite like tableaus of like a screenshot essentially that of any film, and it's at the very end of it with the fire in the background and the kids, like as Antonio Banderas' character like enters into the room, and Tim Roth's sitting there holding the dead prostitute's leg and the needle in his hand, and just like it just chaos, and it's just one of the funniest like just shots. Oh my god, I love it. I've loved it ever since I've seen it. And then the Quentin Tarantino one, with the penthouse, is just, it's masterfully shot because it's so many long shots. And
that's actually what bugged me the most about it.
Really?
Yeah, the sweeping of the room.
I love it.
Going back around.
I love it.
I guess like
it's artistic, quote unquote. I mean, but no, I love because it's clearly post midnight, and it's like just these fucking Hollywood, like he's making, like Tarantino's making fun of himself and all of this like big hotshot Hollywood people with just like they're doing this most stupid bet.
Well, before we actually get to I was just curious. So you're struggling between the third and fourth one.
Yeah, I mean, I really do love both of those.
Okay, then I'm going between the second and third one.
Second and third one?
Yeah, because so yeah, you meet, like he was saying, or you were saying, you meet Ted. And Ted is very bizarre of a character.
He's very bizarre of a character, but in a strange way, he still kind of represents the audience.
He's fascinating to watch.
Yes,
his manner. He's almost like a he's like a slapstick Jack Sparrow. He's very fluttery with his hand motions and very kind of fluid.
Anything else I can get?
Yeah, he's he's like liquid. As he walks down the hallway,
he's like kind of always dancing.
He walks like a cartoon character.
Yeah, 100%.
With like his hips and everything. Yeah. Like he was
also it was very much inspired by Jerry Lewis and the movie The Bellboy. His performance,
the one Tarantino talks
the one
about.
That Tarantino brings up. Yeah.
That's it.
Very like, nose on the head. Yeah,
like they're talking about. Okay, got it. Cool. Yeah. Cool. But yeah, Tim Roth's is interesting too, because in every like one of the different segments, he was always the same person, but came off almost different, if you know what I mean.
And that's just kind of when you got 4 different writers writing the same character, there's going to be a little bit of nuance that's different, and the thing that's going to tie it all together is how the actor brings it out.
Yeah, and that just made it really interesting too, because all 4 of these directors definitely had their own stamp on each one, but they were all in a very similar kind of, they all had a similar vibe.
Yeah.
So they all had kind of a similar eye to what they wanted to do, but with their own kind of like little signature that they like to throw in there. And that was really cool, because it wasn't just, because a lot of time with anthologies, it can be just a complete crapshoot. The directors are so different.
Well, I mean, generally anthologies don't have a through line like this of it being, it's like it might be in the same world, but it's not like generally in the same hotel. Like happening in like in a sequence.
In my opinion, the good ones are though, like Trick or Treat.
I thought Trick or Treat was just a bunch of separate stories.
It's all in the same town.
Oh, that's true.
And they're all overlapping, like the little boy candy cane monster.
Yeah.
They all have like a brief interaction with him. Not all, but a few characters have a brief interaction with him. And then there's a serial killer guy that's like the neighbor of. You know.
I guess it's been a long time since I've seen that actually.
Yeah, but it's like, and I think the anthologies that actually make sure to have this little, even a thin line connecting them, are the only ones that ever really. Because I
mean, it just depends. Like if that's what their goal is, then hopefully it works. Because I mean, it's still like ABCs of Death is still fun to watch because it's very much just it's just you're watching just short stories from different directors,
Yeah, and that can work. I mean, would you consider like Love Actually an anthology?
No, I love actually movies like that. Those are just like big ensemble.
Big ensemble.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's like one director and it's different points.
Yeah, it's one director, probably one writer.
Different. It's
or
not
a couple of writers.
It's not segment.
Yeah, no,
segmented.
it's because it's like their lives might be intertwining and whatnot.
Yeah.
No, this is very clearly like this story, this story, this story, this story. There's a little Easter eggs in some of the stories that like kind of like bleed it together, But
yeah,
which actually one of them kind of bothers me because it makes no sense how it
In
works
what?
timeline wise. When the kid calls.
Oh, in this?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I noticed that too.
Yeah.
I paused it and I was like, wait, I'm confused.
No, yeah, it's kind of like.
Val actually watched this with me.
Oh yeah, what'd you think?
She was on her Switch.
So she watched, quote unquote, watched it with
Yeah,
you?
she was jumping in every now and then.
Was she like, what's happening?
The best is at the very end. She just she stops and puts the Switch down and she looks at me and goes, "What'd you think?" And I just went, "I don't know. I liked it. God, I don't know."
This is actually one of my favorite movies.
I can see that.
Fair.
I can actually see
Just
that.
for how weird it is.
Yeah, just your personality.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Where were we?
Anthology stuff. Do you want to let's actually get back into, unless you had something more you want to talk about with anthologies
I
and how
can't
this
remember.
worked as an anthology, you felt.
I guess it was just that the fact that the directors had all very different. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was some
Blah, blah, blah.
nuances. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that was it. Yeah.
So I mean, yeah. The biggest thing is to like know that there was that fun setup with the older bellboy or bellman, which seems like
Bellman.
Ding ding ding! Hello, I am Bellman.
Bellman.
And because then it goes into the first story, which written and directed by Allison Anders, and it's The Missing Ingredient is the name of it. Which this is the one with Madonna.
This is the weirdest one.
Yeah, this is the one that has Madonna in it. Has a couple of other actresses that are
Madonna
recognizable.
looks sexy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, I loved it. It was real. Her look was so dated, but it was. She comes in with like a skin tight, like pleather
Yeah.
skirt and like the fur, and her little clutch was like a samurai sword hilt,
Yeah.
and she's smoking a cigarette with big red lip. I was just like, that's Madonna right there.
Oh, yeah.
She looked
That's
good.
the Madonna we grew up
Yeah,
with.
I was like, that's Madonna.
And it's the quick description of it. It's just a coven of witches that are trying to break a curse, a 40-year-old curse, to bring back one of their sisters. Is that what you call sister?
They keep calling her their goddess.
That's right.
But the way they're also kind of talking to her, it sounds like she was the head of the coven before.
Possibly, yeah, that would make sense.
That's kind of the vibe I got. I was like,
because you couldn't really.
be...
There was no one in there that really you got the vibe that was kind of the head, except for maybe the brunette, kind of ish.
the one that was setting up this ritual.
Yeah,
because even Madonna had kind of a queen bee kind of vibe to her, like
yeah,
don't mess with me kind of thing.
It was definitely like a lot of big personalities, like
Mhm.
with for a lot of the women in it.
And a lot of them you'd like. A lot of the other members of the coven too, you would recognize, but they. I don't know. I haven't seen.
Well,
them.
like the one that's kind of like the hippie-ish one.
I've heard her.
She's the lead actress in The Haunting with Liam
That's
Neeson.
what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, I recognize her from something.
And she's been around, like she's been in like Sean Gone.
She's been around forever.
Yeah, some John Cusack movies.
I find her very interesting looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like her vibe and
Oh yeah.
her like energy. I don't know. I find her.
Yeah, she
I
does.
find myself looking at her in a scene. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? If there's like a group of the people, I find myself looking at her, just like, huh.
She's got a very entrancing look.
Yeah, there's
that's a
something
good way
about
to
her.
Put it.
Yeah, there's something about her.
And then one of the other actresses I do recognize, but I don't know. So essentially, yeah, it's this coven of witches that are trying to bring back their goddess, who also they call her goddess Diana or whatever. I think yeah, but it seems like she in one of those pictures she looks a lot like Marilyn Monroe. And I feel like that it's kind of like it's supposed to be kind of a callback to Marilyn Monroe. Does that make But so they all kind of like drop in their own stuff to revive their goddess, and one of them Like they have like weird like sayings with each one. Like one of them's like
almost
tears
comical.
of the year, the sweat between a man's from 5 men's legs.
Yeah, the sweat between the sweat from the thighs of 500 men. Or something.
Yes,
It's like a flask of just sweat.
No, 5 men, not 500.
Oh, okay.
God, 5. And then one of them was supposed to bring semen, and in her like little rhyme, she's
the
like,
seed.
but she swallowed it instead because she was giving the guy oral, and she swallowed it.
And then the other ladies are yelling at her like, Jesus Christ!
Did you like one like starts breathing fire?
Oh, Madonna.
No, it wasn't Madonna.
Oh,
it was a
wasn't?
brunette. It was a brunette.
Oh, I thought it was Madonna.
I was like, jeez. It's like, oh, what? So this one is like, it sets up. It sets up this really weird world, in the missing ingredient, because it's like there's no setup that they're witches. It's just kind of like, oh, they're gonna do this thing, and you it just like slowly. You're like, oh, they are witches, and then that one breathes fire, and you're like, oh, they really are witches. Like this isn't just some weird like thing.
Yeah.
And Tim Roth,
Who, granted, well, also we forgot to point out is Tim Roth is the only one working at this hotel
yes,
this night.
he is the only worker. And I brought it up in my review, but let's definitely reiterate that.
He's the only one dealing with these people.
He's the only one dealing with this entire hotel. And like the history of this hotel is that it used to be a lot more popular, and It used to like host.
It's a fake hotel, right?
Yeah, it's a fake hotel.
Hotel
Mon Signor.
And I'm getting the vibe that it's supposed to take place in L.A.
Yeah,
it's got that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it used to be the hot spot for the celebrities, and they're trying
in like the 1950s and 60s.
They're trying to bring it back to this like crown jewel of Hollywood, where all the celebrities will come. Yeah. It's like the idea.
So, I mean, yeah, Tim Roth essentially he gets. They're like they realize that he brings in the ingredients that they asked for. Because they asked for a handful of stuff, and then they're like
kosher salt and fresh thyme, and or sea salt. And if you don't have sea salt, kosher salt.
And I was like, just fucking say salt. It's like this when he gets seduced by the young woman, young witch.
But yeah, so that's the one that screwed up, not bringing the semen, has to get semen from somebody, and the only guy that they see is Tim Roth, the bellboy, or Ted the Bellboy.
And so she casts a spell on him, which this is where like I don't know, the animation gets put into this short, which is kind of odd.
Kind of sucks too, because that makes it look more dated than anything else.
Yeah,
that really brings you like to this was made in like 95. Not.
But like it works for this story, and this is kind of like where like the disjointedness of the stories kind of like start to like it. Because you see that, and then it makes you kind of expect you're going to have a little bit more like animation like that in the rest of the movie.
Oh, and this is the only time, right?
Yeah, there's one other weird one in the second one when he's hanging out the window and like there's that arrow that comes down.
Oh yeah.
But that one also has its own weird like aesthetic as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, ultimately, like Ted the bellboy, he like falls in love with her. Like she casts a spell on him, and then she gets his seed. She puts it into the tub that they're doing the stuff.
They do it in the tub.
That's right. They do it in the tub. So his seed's in the tub.
Along with everything else.
I was thinking, it was like all that stuff that's in that thing, and he's jumping into it. I'm like, oh, thank God. And then Diana rises, and that's pretty much the end of it. It's like Diana comes out of it
and smiles, and then it fades out.
Yeah. And I feel like it's definitely.
I think it's the most out of place.
It is. It's the most out of place story in it.
Yeah. And it was weird they started off with that.
Yeah, but it also kind of makes sense. I don't know.
Well, only because
that's the beginning of his night, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, you could have changed. I don't know. But I just think that one being in the beginning gives an idea that they're all gonna be.
Well, there's a weird thing like in between 2 and 3, where I feel like the third one with the kids was originally gonna be possibly the second one, and then the second one was gonna be the third one. But then, like, I feel like, I don't know, like, they had to, like, rearrange. Because, like, going into the third one, he, like, all of a sudden has that cherry little, like, hair clip thing that she gave him.
Mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden that's reintroduced, almost like he just came from the room. But it's just a callback to it. I don't know. There's something about that, the transition between 2 and 3, that made me feel like those, like, it was kind of like out of order. But then, like,
a production thing.
But then, like, when you actually look on how the story unfolds, like, it really makes more sense for the third one with the kids to be the third one.
Because the second one
there
is
needs
the
to be
couple.
that. Yeah,
right?
there needs to be that different that time separation between the second one and the fourth one because of the woman.
Yeah.
You know? So, like, this is where, like, I mean, the movie is just so weird, and it's kind of like, we could, like, really nitpick the timeline of it, but I feel like this movie isn't really designed for that.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I don't think so either.
Because, what is it? The beginning of the second one. The second one, so the second one's called The Wrong Guy.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's called The Wrong Guy.
The Wrong Guy, okay.
Wrong
Man.
Yeah. I think it's The Wrong Guy.
Wrong Man.
Oh, all right, fine. Whatever. Prove me wrong with your computer.
Internet. Timmy, where'd you get that? Internet?
Then it starts off with someone from another floor on the 5th floor. Well, you don't know what floor. There's confusion. Like, it's a room that has a big party happening, and they need ice.
They're in 509.
It's 509?
Yeah, they're in 509, and there's, it's a New Year's Eve party, so everyone's all coked out, drunk, and they call down to get more ice. But one of the guys
which is kind
know.
of it's a very amusing scene and kind of frustrating scene, because if you ever worked in, like, any kind of, like, business,
hospitality industry kind of thing,
like,
cool, where are you? I don't know. What? So what do you want me to do?
Yeah. Or like, hi, how can I help you? Hey, yeah. What's up? How can I help you? Yeah. Wait, what do we need? We need ice. Oh, you need ice. That's nice. Thank God damn it. It's like,
everything you're saying is like, I think every bartender that ever listens to this is like, hey, what can I get you? Yo, hold on 1 second. Yo, Joe!
Yeah, right?
Joe! It's like, fuck it, I'm walking away, dude.
No, exactly. Dude, I've seen so many bartenders do that.
Just walk the fuck
and then
away.
It's like, if I'm sitting at the bar and I see that, and the person, wait, and I just kind of start laughing, and they look at me like, what? And I'm like, I don't know.
Get your shit together, Becky. Yeah, it was really frustrating. But so basically, they ask for ice to 409 when they're in 509.
I was 40. They said 404 or 409. They're not even, like, truly specific on.
They're not even sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he goes. He gets the bucket of ice, and, like, he's walking down the hall, like, weird dancing.
This weird
with
little like jazz dancing.
Did you notice what he did with the bucket of ice, though?
Put his chewed up gum in it
And his cigarette.
Oh, I didn't see the cigarette.
Yeah, no, he takes a drink of a cigarette, and then, like, puts it out into the bucket, drops it in the bucket, takes a piece of gum,
and then shakes it up,
and then shakes the bucket up. I was like, oh,
I was like, damn,
dirty. I don't blame him. I would never do that, though. Actually, I don't know. I don't have the gumption to do something like that.
I would never do anything like that. I've thought about it. Definitely.
Oh, I've thought about doing many of things to people's food and stuff.
Like, never would.
This is where it gets weird.
A man needs a code.
Yeah, exactly.
I just watched that Law and Order episode of Community.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Like, before I got here. Man needs a code.
Do you want to give us the rundown of this one? Do you remember much of it?
Yeah. I really, really enjoyed this one because it was just really, like...
It's so weird.
It's so weird.
It's so fucking weird.
It is really tense, and it's got this really...
It's got a lot of great physical acting from him in this one.
And it's got this really dark... Like, because even the witch one had, they took off their tops, and there was, like, boobies and stuff, and then they had the sex theme, but it was even just kind of, like, alluding, they're gonna have sex, and then it fade out,
like,
and it fades in.
It's like not even like that one's not even that dark in humor. It's more sexual in humor.
Yeah, but this one was dark sexual.
Yeah.
But so he does the gum and the cigarette, and then he walks in, and it's all, like, dark, and you just see the silhouette of a man sitting in the dark over in the corner of the room, and basically flips on the light. And what is his name? Shit.
The actors or the characters? Siegfried,
but who? Oh, whatever. But Siegfried, you'd recognize him. He always plays like a gangster mafia type guy.
David Preval.
Thank you. David Preval is sitting there, and he's in a white tuxedo shirt, his underwear, and his bow tie's like hanging off his neck, and he's got a huge
Scale like a fucking 44 or
Magnum
357 or something. Yeah.
He's got Dirty Harry's gun.
Yeah.
And then in the center of the room is a woman bound and gagged in a chair
In her nightgown.
and it just becomes what the bellman warns them about, the couple's argument.
Yeah, don't get any married arguments. Yeah.
And that's basically what it is the husband is convinced that the wife is cheating. She's waiting for a man named Theodore, and then he asks, "Are you Theodore?" And he responds, "Yeah," because that's his name, but he goes by Ted.
Yeah.
But he's just like, "Yeah, basically it's like my legal name is Theodore," and then it just becomes this
hostage
situation where
it's
this
like
guy
psycho
he's got,
sexual hostage situation.
It was the weird, and he's like popping pills and drinking a bottle of Jack.
Yeah.
Ranting and raving.
Not even just popping pills, chewing the pills.
Well, he said they were nitro.
Yeah.
Which is for
heart, isn't it?
Yeah, that's how they kill that guy in Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
Because
he even he's like, my nitro's in the bathroom.
Yeah.
But do you chew those pills? Who chews pills?
I think because even the guy in Dumb and Dumber did too. I think if you needed to kick in really fast, because your mouth will start to metabolize it and get into your bloodstream.
It's true, but I feel like the choice of choosing. I mean, maybe I'm just wrong with I don't really know much about nitros.
I don't either.
But like it's kind of like a character choice of like this person's a little like off. They chew their pills. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, have you ever chewed a pill?
Mm-hmm.
It's the most disgusting thing in the world.
Mm-hmm. It tastes like 409. Imagine.
Oh, you imagine?
I haven't tried that.
Okay.
And I would imagine that's what 409 tastes like. But also with this one, this one was also kind of a confusing one too, because there's these great the dialogue is great.
Yeah.
I think the dialogue between all the characters is really good.
Mm-hmm.
And in all honesty, it's mainly Ted and Siegfried.
Siegfried
are the ones talking because the wife is bound and gagged, but she even has like a moment in the middle and then at the very end, and she was really funny. And then she has another part later on in the film.
Yeah.
But I couldn't. Towards the end, I was like, "Is this all like a game?"
That's kind of what I feel like it plays out into. Is that
it's a weird sex game?
It's a weird he.
They're like role playing.
They're role playing. He wants to be the cuckold, but then it also it kind of gets to a point where it's like, does he want Ted to sleep with him too?
Well, there's even that him making him talk.
Yeah,
and they both get confused. I don't know. That one was. I really enjoyed it.
Very strange one. Because they're at the very end of the very end of the episode, the very end of that segment is one of the guys from from the room above looking for the ice bumps into the bellboy, and it kind of alludes that
was Theodore.
Possibly, yeah.
That's what I got. I was like, "Oh, is this actually the Theodore they were waiting for?" Because they were waiting for a Theodore. It just so happens his name was Ted.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
a very weird one. It's a very, very weird one. But some of the best parts of it is with Tim Roth. It's Tim Roth's physical humor in this.
Look, he has a great freak out too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he does.
Mm-hmm.
So Siegfried has has a heart attack, so he runs into the bathroom to get the nitro pills, and Ted's he's scrambling trying to find the stuff and whatnot, and then he turns around and he sees there's a window, and he's like, oh, my chance to get out, and he climbs halfway through this window that he really can't fit through. And then he's screaming for help.
It's 16 stories up.
Yeah. And then there's that really far shot of the hotel, and you just kind of see someone hanging out of a window, and that giant arrow.
Just be oh, by the way, he's right
Ted.
here.
Ted. Just I think that's again that's where the only time the animated feel kind of comes back again,
mm-hmm.
and I think it was very fitting for that moment.
Well, because even this whole scene too, with the physical comedy, he comes off like Mr. Bean.
Yeah, 100%.
He's the kind of fumbly, like panicky thing, you know. And then even like a window clearly you can't get out of. You're gonna try anyways.
That shot where it's like split down the
was
wall,
cool. That was really
and
cool.
it's like half him like out, like it's profile of him halfway out the window and halfway in the bathroom, and how he like twists around,
and then he grabs the window, like the inside part of the window with his legs to like latch him on. That was really cool.
It's so good.
It was really simple, but there's something really cool about it.
Just watching someone do weird physical feats like that in like high stress situations, because like there's someone dying in the other room essentially.
Yeah,
and it was so good. But yeah, and then essentially like he pretty much gets out of the room. How does he get out of the room?
He gets himself out of
not out of the bath. Like it's like.
Well, he gets himself out of the bathroom.
Yeah, and then Siegfried wasn't having a heart attack.
Siegfried's like totally fine.
Yeah, and he's like, "You do love me," to his wife.
Well, because he's on the ground, and so is she, and so he gets her up, and she's saying he couldn't find the nitro, and then she says, "Okay, well, untie me, and I'll find it." He's dying, and then he pops up, and he's like totally fine, and like smiling like a psycho, and is explaining to the wife that, oh, clearly you do love me because you wouldn't let me die. Yeah. And then she says something like, no, I just don't want your
fat bloated corpse.
Carcass in our room or something like that. And then she kind of turns on Ted and tries to make it into this. They actually were having an affair when Ted this entire time is trying to convince the guy with the gun.
What are you doing?
And then she just comes up with the most different names for a penis I've ever heard in my entire life.
Oh yeah, no, that was quite a list of penis names.
Yeah, that was crazy. But also going back to his like freak out, it was like, so Siegfried keeps calling Ted Theodore, and Ted really hates that, and he just has this amazing moment of like he has like a weird revelation about his childhood.
And he like admits some like weird dark childhood
bully situation,
which makes Siegfried like respect him, and then like
because he like stood up to him, and
then
also
he like pulls him in and kisses him as well. It's just like, what is happening?
Yeah, he's basically like, and it's gonna be a cold day in hell when anyone calls me Theodore or Theo. It was really funny. I liked that.
But I forget exactly, as she's doing her list, does he just like, as like she's doing her list of different penis names?
Yeah.
Like, I guess Siegfried's just kind of like having he's like freaking out, and then that's kind of like Ted just takes his
leave.
Takes this opportunity to escape from the room, I guess. Yeah.
Siegfried just kind of starts to crumble and melt in this kind of like being emasculated.
Right. When she says like Ted has a huge dick, and he's like, let me see it.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, freeze, like, pull it out. Like, oh, no,
and then he's like, sorry, please don't stop talking about his dick. And then he just like kind of crumbles into like a mess on the floor. And then Ted just is like, fuck this, and walks out.
God,
and that's when he runs into the guy looking for the room.
Yeah. I thought he was just looking for the ice.
I thought he was looking for the room.
I always took it as he was just looking for ice, because it seemed like Ted got out of the room. It's almost like they were just like, wait, whoever walks into that room just gonna get some shit, because it's like their cycle repeats. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a really weird one.
Again, like you're saying about the timeline, you can't really I don't think you can overanalyze what the.
And like that, it's the one that it has such a disjointed and like narrative. Like this one doesn't really have a beginning, middle, and end. It just kind of has chaos.
Yeah, slowly escalating chaos.
Yeah. But it's also, it's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then
we jump into the third one, which is Rodriguez's.
Yep, Robert Rodriguez's one, The Misbehaviors.
Yeah. Which I just loved because I love Antonio Banderas.
Oh, dude, he's amazing.
He's just cool.
He's so scummy in this one.
He's hot. I don't know. He's just got this like thing to him. He's he's got the really slick, tight ponytail and the tiny little mustachio that's right over the top of his lip. And he's got the big gold wedding ring, and he's in his tuxedo. I don't know. It's just like, yeah, Antonio, you're gross, but I love you.
Which I kind of made a weird connection. I never realized, like, Robert Rodriguez likes to write kids.
Well,
because he's done all the Spy Kids.
Well, that's what's funny. That whole scene when he's doing this kid's hair, they do in Spy Kids.
Oh, seriously?
But less aggressive.
Less aggressive.
Yeah, but yeah. So if I don't know if anybody remembers, but in the first Spy Kids, they're getting Junie and
I've never seen Spy Kids.
Junie and whatever, the two kids ready for this black tie event, and he's doing his hair and slicking it back, and he goes, "Yeah, just like Papa," and he's making him all clean and everything, and he actually succeeds.
That's
and
so funny because that's Antonio Banderas and Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah,
doing that again.
Yeah, so they it was like their own little fun Easter egg.
Yeah, that's like a little fun. Like, hey, let's do a callback to Four Rooms.
Yeah, for a kids movie.
Because all right, think about the maybe kind of like younger people that watched. So like the early 20-year-olds that watched Four Rooms as Spy Kids comes out, they now have kids
and they're still fans, so they're gonna go see it with their kids. So it's for them.
And then they see that scene, they're probably like, "What is what?"
Yeah. No, yeah. So I thought that was really funny. I was watching it and I was like, I'm having a weird sense of deja vu, and then I was like, oh yeah, because. But I also did like, so yeah, you meet Antonio Banderas and what was her name again?
Oh,
Tomita. Is that who it was?
The wife.
Yeah.
I mean, their character names are just man and wife, but the actress is Tamlyn Tomita.
Yeah, from Karate Kid, right?
Is she?
Karate Kid 3, I think.
Oh, that's right. She's Kamiko.
Yeah, she's.
Dude, that's why I recognized her.
Yeah, she's Kamiko.
Dude, wow. Oh my God.
Older, but
yeah, no, because I had such a big crush on her when I was a kid.
She's beautiful.
Yeah,
she's a beautiful woman. But yeah, so they're husband and wife, and they have this really weird love-hate thing.
Yeah,
there's like this. They have like just raw sexual energy, but also in this like I didn't want to hate you kind of like thing. So that was great. But basically, they decide to go out, right? Yeah,
they were going to go out with the kids because it's New Year's, but then Antonio Banderas is the man. He's just like, what if we leave the kids home with the TV and it's just you and I? Then we will have fun.
We'll have fun. Yeah.
Because she was like, because she kind of comments how it's not going to be fun because of the kids.
Yeah.
They're also like shitty parents. Like,
yeah. Leaving your kid in the hotel room.
Well, not only that, just like you could tell that they don't like, they use their children as a way to like, get back at each other. I don't know. There's like the way that she was brushing her daughter's hair, like aggressively, as like Antonio Banderas is like combing like his son's hair differently than she just combed his hair. Like, it's like they're those kids are gonna grow up with a lot of problems.
Yeah, like your hair is, of course, just like your mother.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like shit like that.
It's like fuck, dude. So like they get Ted the Bellhop to come up to the room because he was just on his way to deliver champagne.
Yeah, they had ordered. He said Antonio Banderas called downstairs and was like, "Bring champagne quickly."
Oh yeah, then he doesn't bring it fast enough.
Doesn't bring it fast enough. So in this time that they call Ted and he's bringing it up, they then have this conversation about leaving the kids alone, and he just happens to show up as their basically they're going to walk out the door, and then Ted shows up. So they weren't even worried. They're like, just leave him here to watch TV, and it isn't until Ted actually is physically there that they decide to involve him in this babysitting situation.
Yeah, and then there's I like how the man's like, how does $500 sound? And
that was a great interaction.
Ted's just like, sounds great. How about 300? That's yeah.
He's like $300. Yeah, okay. And then it becomes back to the 500. They have a really good like back and forth with that one, which I really enjoyed.
So once they leave, and then Tim Roth's character, like his kind of like mean-spiritedness comes out a little bit more in this one. But I think it's also frustrations of what's happened through him tonight, and then also. Just tell these kids, just watch TV. Don't fucking bother me. Yeah. And then the little girl is, I love, she's like, no, not emergency situations.
We paid you $500 when to call you when we need you. She's kind of pulling dad.
Yeah, exactly.
Like mentality of like, and then even using dad, like, you don't want to see my dad angry.
Yeah.
Well, so they leave.
I mean, then the kids, they just kind of be kids, like, but like they find a needle, a used needle in the drawer
on top of the Holy Bible.
Yeah.
Which I thought was.
The young boy, he wants to watch the girl dancing on the TV, which actually, Salma Hayek is the dancer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Huh.
And
I wondered where she was.
Salma.
I saw her on the
Hayek.
cast list.
Oh yeah, no,
but I was like, where is she? But
she's the dancing girl.
funny. Very
I mean, all you
from dusk till dawn.
Yeah, exactly.
Same. Also, because that era, it's that high waisted like bikini. Remember those?
And it's like you would never really like. You only know it's her by looking into the credit and kind of see dancing girl on TV or whatever, because you don't see her face. It's literally just a close up of boobs, like just
like her like boob, like right above the boobs, right below, like mid thigh.
Yeah,
it's kind of all you really see.
Yeah, that's just kind of the camera kind of goes up and down between boobs, thigh, and
But like that's kind of it. That's funny. Huh?
Yeah.
And, well, I wondered where she was.
The girl keeps calling Ted with like every little thing that she finds. Like she thinks there's nudie stations,
the porn channels on
because the kid's watching the dancer. She complains about the needle. Like your cleaning people are horrible.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of the needle, to jump back to the second story, when Ted is with,
she calls another room, which is like, because in the second story, Siegfried picks up the phone and someone's asking about needles in their drawers.
He's like, "No, we got a big fucking gun though." Click.
Yeah, and that's the exact same interaction that she has.
So yeah, it implies that she's the one calling.
Yeah,
but then Ted was in both rooms at the same. No, because Ted wasn't in the room for that. He wasn't
in the room,
but he was downstairs.
So there's a lot you could imply in like timeline to this, to where, because you don't know how long those kids are really like actually in the room leading up to midnight, and if you really just think about like time lapse of him being in that room for getting the ice for like 404 or 409 is only like 15 minutes. So what if that story of that room did happen in the middle of him trying to watch the kids?
And that also kind of explain his like rising irritation that he's been having. Because at first he's pretty timid. And as the stories go on, he gets more and more kind of like...
Yeah. Which would also explain why at the beginning of 3 is like what I was talking about. It seems like he just came out of the room with the witches.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I think that's supposed to be what it is. Is like, so it's kind of like a weird, like he's supposed to be watching these kids and like unbeknownst to them, she's calling another room, you know? But like I mean, that's the only way I can make the timeline make sense, because like, but I feel like she also calls him almost directly after that, calls Ted the Bellhop, or directly after that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's my idea of how it can work, but I can't really like defend it that well.
Yeah.
You know. But going forward into the misbehaviors, the kids essentially like they get up, like they just keep calling to. Oh yeah, they also they keep having this smelling a bad smell.
And they keep thinking it's each other's feet.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
He comes up. He finally kind of like he's like he's just gonna put them to bed early. So then he puts like Vaseline on their eyes and tells them that if they open their eyes, it'll burn.
Well, it's like Vic rub.
Is it Vicks Vapor Rub?
Yeah, it's like peppermint rub. That so like the whole, because he has this whole twisted story about his babysitter used to do that to him.
Yeah.
Because if you open your eyes, it will get in your eyes and it will burn really badly.
Yeah.
So it's like this really twisted way of making sure your kid don't open their eyes while they're sleeping.
So passage of time happens, and it's like the fireworks are going off, and the little girl like goes and washes off her eyes, and still trying to find that smell, and she finally moves the mattress, and there's a dead prostitute, like carved, like it's like they carved out the box spring and shoved a dead prostitute into it.
It's very American Horror Story hotel.
Yeah, they're just like, what the
yeah.
And she calls up the Ted, the bellboy, and like starts, you know, like there's a dead girl in the bed, and he's like, no, it's not one of your dream. Like how, like he finally goes up to the room as he's like going back to go up to the room to like make sure the kids go back to bed. Antonio Banderas is coming back in.
That was fun.
So then it turns into like a race against time to get up to the kids to get them into bed. So he actually like did his job, and so the man doesn't get upset at him. And this is when chaos ensues.
Oh yeah, well, because when Ted brought in the Vicks Vapor Rub or whatever, he brought up a bottle of liquor with him.
I think he brought up a fresh bottle of champagne for because he saw that the kids had opened it.
Oh, maybe it looked like a screw top.
I don't know.
Yeah, just that's something that Valen pointed out.
I know. I know what you're talking about, and I don't know, and I didn't want to bring it up because I didn't know.
Okay.
Essentially, this like I don't want to go into like the entire like I don't want to break down every single thing, but it ends up to what I was talking about, my favorite tableau, where like the Ted the bellboy find like the girl moves the mattress and he sees the dead prostitute. He keeps calling her a dead whore, and then she's like, "Don't call her that." And
he's like, he's on the phone with the cops.
He's on the phone with the cops,
and he's being like, but even how he's saying like whore is really aggressive.
Yeah,
it's like there's a dead whore. You know, you're like, whoa, dude. Like,
it's also like just vomit all because he like immediately sees her and just
that
pukes.
Made me laugh so hard.
Just the immediate vomit.
So Tim Roth just looks over and sees the body and immediately made me like. It was hysterically because I just didn't expect it. It was just like, I don't know. I just thought it'd be like a scream or something, but just I had to pause it because I was like, oh, that got me really good. That was really funny.
But it like just all of these events just unfold, and all of a sudden the room is ignited in fire.
Because we forget to mention that just like his dad, the little kid.
Oh, like the little kid's wanting to smoke like his dad.
Yeah, so he's like sneaking cigarettes here and there.
It ends up with just this. Well, because the little girl stabs Tim Roth. Oh, that's right. To get him to stop calling her a whore, she stabs him with the needle. So it ends with him pulling the needle out of his leg, and then Antonio Banderas' character opens the door, and just the scene that is left for him to just like for it is Tim Roth holding the ankle of this dead prostitute with the needle up in the air, looking like he's getting ready to stab her. His young boy with a cigarette in his mouth with fire behind him.
After Tim Roth has slapped him like three times in the face.
Yeah. And his little girl with a bottle of liquor looking like she's getting ready to like hit the bellboy with it, and then the kid like throws the cigarette behind him like, oh, I'm not supposed to have this, and then the flames engulf even larger, and then Antonio Banderas, the man's like final words like, did they misbehave?
Well, he's this whole time too, he's carrying his knocked out drunk wife.
She's passed out,
and he's just like just complete dead weight, and he just drops her once he sees with this chaos in front of him, and then asks, did they misbehave? Like, it's
so good.
That was one of I think that's my favorite one.
It's so good
because it's like super almost like slapsticky and just raising the stakes.
Oh yeah,
throughout the 15 minutes or whatever. I just thought it was pretty cool.
So going into this last one, I want to just quickly point out Marissa Tomei at the top of this is fucking comedic gold.
Oh, and then even Kathy Griffin.
I don't know. Her performance is super dry for me.
It's Kathy Griffin.
Yeah, I know. She's like, I don't know. I didn't really like her performance.
Well, it's funny too. I looked at Marissa Tomei and I was like, she looks really familiar.
Yeah, it's a very young Marissa Tomei.
Like, that's a young Marissa Tomei, and I was like, oh shit, totally is. Didn't realize that.
Oh, she's just sitting there
stoned out of her mind.
Like when he because Ted the Bellboy is like, he's quitting. He's like, I am fucking leaving. I am over this shit.
Oh yeah. So, but we forgot to mention. So what he does is after this whole ridiculous situation he was in, he goes back downstairs and calls his boss.
Yeah.
And is explaining that I'm like the shit I've had to deal with today. Like I'm out of here. Like this is ridiculous. Yeah. And Marissa Tomei is sitting there playing. Did you notice that they were playing
Contra?
Huh?
I mean, no. What?
The game they were playing?
I mean, I thought it was Contra.
I thought it was Rambo.
Oh, maybe it was Rambo.
I think it was Rambo.
Oh, you're totally right. It was Rambo.
Yeah, it was like the old Rambo game.
I just the second shot of it looked like more like Contra, but Rambo has like it goes back. Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, so Marissa Tomei picks up the phone.
She picks up the phone and he's like, "Is Betty there?" And Marissa Tomei is just like, "She's gone." Like, this is her house. Oh, okay. But she has this weird she's like trying to calm like Ted down, and like she's like. I don't want to go through her entire dialogue, but it is one of the best. I think it's actually probably the best part of the entire movie.
It's really funny. Because even like he like mentioned, well, like just again, like we won't go into the whole like back and forth, but even like just something as simple as like Ted says, and he had a big fucking gun, and then she's like, what kind of gun was it? And then he like explains it, and she's like, a 44 Magnum or
a 350. He's like, what's the difference?
Yeah, like she's just stoned and just asking him these kind of like, trivial questions, but she just seems like actually kind of curious about what he's talking about, while completely absolved into a video game in front of her. Because when you're looking at her too, you're looking as if you see her as if you're the TV.
Yeah.
So she's looking like directly at you.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just it was good. It was fun. It was good.
It's really good. And then Kathy Griffin like convince like the penthouse starts buzzing, and so Kathy Griffin convinces Ted the bellboy to just give service to the penthouse, and she will be there, type thing.
Yeah, like and this what we were talking about earlier. This goes into they're trying to like he's a big Hollywood star, and they're trying to make this another crown jewel.
And he's a star on the rise. He pretty much Tarantino wrote himself in a way.
Yeah.
And so he goes to the penthouse, and I guess I really like this one because of I like the sweeping and the movement of the camera, because it's such a it makes all of the actors and all of the like moments super specific, and it has to be well rehearsed and well thought out. And that's why I love long shots like that. And Tarantino's just dialogue in it is so good. And like how he makes himself an asshole, and Tim Roth just like literally just wanting to just like drop off the stuff and go. But Tarantino's like, no, come on, have some Cristal. How's that good? Do you like that? Yeah. Yes, it's good. No, it's fucking good, Ted. It's fucking good. When you're drinking Cristal, it's not great. It's not good. It's fucking great. Okay? No, do it again.
That's like one thing too. Is like, I mean, Quentin Tarantino's always been really great with dialogue. I mean, I'm not the biggest Tarantino fan. It's very hit or miss for me, like movie to movie. Like even after this, I was going through and I was like that one, don't really care for that one. Like really like that one. That one's okay, But his dialogue has always been
on point.
Yeah, phenomenal. Like very natural, very random. A lot of the time, like the topics of conversation, but it's just like, well, that's what happens. People have
the most strange,
random, it doesn't have to be like, hello, how was your day? It was good. Or
even just kind of like, the thinking about like like Pulp Fiction, two hitmen going up, doing their job. Like what would two hitmen be talking about? It's like, and that whole conversation that they have is just like, it's such an interesting thing. Just like, it's like, this is just a job to them. It's like you and I like sitting behind in the kitchen, just being like, yeah, so I went to this place, it's just like, it's genius.
It's all really good.
Bruce Willis's character is actually my favorite out in all of this, because how he's like Leo, how he's in the background with his wife and just freaking out like half the time.
Yeah,
I like how like Tarantino.
This one made me laugh the most.
Tarantino's character is like, oh, this is Ted the bellboy. He's the bellboy, and then Leo's like, oh yeah, come here, and like starts pulling out money, and then Tarantino, no, this is Ted the bellboy who we called 25 minutes ago, and then Leo's just like, Bruce was like, oh yeah, puts the money back in his pocket, just like, fuck, what a dick. But also kind of sets up a little bit of where this is going to lead, because like it takes such a long time to get to this setup of it's a long setup to the punch of this story.
Yeah,
and because the entire time is kind of like Tarantino just talking, and I feel like convincing Ted to stay.
What he's doing is like
being drunk and high on coke.
Yeah, but he's like psychologically making Ted feel like a friend.
Yeah,
get his defenses down.
Yeah,
kind of like
calm down. Like, hey,
loosen up,
have a little bit of Cristal.
Yeah, have fun. Like, hang out.
Oh, we also forgot to mention that the woman from Story 2 is randomly in this fucking.
They met her at her name is Angela, who's Jennifer Beals. And so she's just in a bathrobe with her and her hair in a bath towel, and
they met her at the pool. Is what they said.
It's just like a quick little, and she's just hanging around, and that is part of the mystery of what this segment's about, because she's just hanging around for something, because she's the most sober.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ted does ask about her, oh, is your husband? He says something kind of witty. I can't remember now. But then she goes, oh no, he's probably going to be asleep till next year.
Until next Christmas.
Oh yeah, next Christmas.
Yeah.
So she's like, basically, husband passed out. She decided to go to the pool, met them at the pool, had some kind of interaction. Was like, yeah, okay, I'll go up with you. And she's just been
chilling with them
for some reason, because they're all drunk and messed up out of their minds. Like the kind of like the kind of like 80s Coke party where everyone's got this like this edge to them.
Yeah, there's also this sense of like these are definitely like people that are on the rise in Hollywood, and like the power that, in a way that they feel like that they've garnered. They're like, it's like we can get away with anything. Like we are untouchable.
And a lot of people in Hollywood are.
Yeah, exactly. So it has that strange like feel to it, and it all leads to then the reveal of what was brought up into the room. One piece of wood.
But even like when he opens the door and you first see him pushing the cart in, I did see the big ball of twine, and I was like, that's not good. I don't like that.
It had nothing to do with it.
I know, but I was like, that doesn't belong. There's something weird. That's weird. It's the odd man out. I don't like it.
So it's one block of wood, and then 3 nails. Why 3 nails? I don't know. Somebody asked for that. And then 1 ball of twine. That is definitely a ball of twine. Yes. Yeah. Yes, it is. All right. Then 1 donut. That's for me.
Takes out the plate, eats it.
It's literally 1 bite donut each. Just like, I was like, damn. And then 1 club sandwich. Angela, that's mine. Thank you.
Grabs it, goes back to where she was sitting.
1 hatchet. A hatchet? What is it? A hatchet as sharp as the devil's teeth? Or no, like
something like that.
I was like,
as sharp as the devil's teeth. Something like something kind of a weird.
Yeah, the catch a turn of phrase. Like
it was a weird turn of phrase.
Metaphor or some sort like that. Which then sets up for them talking about.
And 1 bucket of ice.
Oh yeah, and 1 bucket of ice. Thank you. And 1 bucket of ice.
That was cool. Now that you actually I'm thinking about it, like that whole like layout of what was brought that was really cool.
Oh, and especially how it's shot, because it's 1 shot, and it's like you're looking at over the table of them, and it's like a reveal coming up from the camera. Yeah. This entire like final one has so many like classic like Tarantino niche like shot styles and shot takes in it and whatnot. So then they tell the story about Peter Sellers and
Steve
McQueen, and a short that they did, an old Alfred Hitchcock thing of a hitchhiker that travels around the highway collecting people's fingers. And the way he would do it is he would bet somebody that they can't light their lighter 10 times in a row. And if they can't light their lighter 10 times in a row, he will chop off their finger. And it goes into that Tarantino's character and what's his name?
Who's
the black guys?
Did you recognize him?
Yeah, super hardcore, but I couldn't. I was like looking at his IMDb, and I was like, I don't know if I recognize any of these movies. Oh, Paul Caldron is the actor, and his character's name is Norman.
There he is.
Chester and so Tarantino's character's name is Chester. So Chester and Norman have made this deal.
He's in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out who he's in Pulp Fiction though.
I don't know it well enough.
I mean, I feel like I would like I know that movie so well. Like I feel like I would recognize him in Pulp Fiction. I feel like he has to be just some like guy in the background that works for Ving Rhames.
Oh, yeah, Boardwalk Empire. Okay.
So they made this deal. But it's for Chester's super fucking nice 1964 Chevelle for the finger, but they know that the emotions might get evolved. Norman's not going to want to chop off his own finger. Chester might choke under the pressure. Leo might choke under the pressure. So Ted the Bellhop
needs to be
Ted, the man who does not know us, who is impartial, who is sober Ted, impartial Ted, and he kind of has like a quick freak out moment. He's like, "Nope, nope, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
And I love that whole like 1 minute. Like, Ted, I got $100 for 1 minute. Now you can take that $100 and you can sit down and you can get up and you can leave right afterwards with that $100. All I'm asking you is for 1 minute of my time, $100. Or you can walk out and you can leave right now without the $100.
I think this was actually one of my favorite like Quentin Tarantino roles.
Yeah.
Not so I didn't really care. I liked him. He's like the fast talking actor. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I really liked him a lot.
And he convinces Ted to finally sit back down.
Before, okay, go ahead. No, we're getting to that part. Never mind.
Okay, yeah. So when he finally does, like, this is like one of like the best parts of it. It's just how, because it's, if you time it out, I think it is actually 60 seconds. I meant to actually go back and try it again.
I would imagine it would be.
Yeah, Tarantino would like eye of detail like that. Yeah,
I think he would.
He essentially convinces Ted to be the chopping man if Norman can't do this in 1 minute by literally offering him $1,000. It's like, you will have $1,000, and regardless if you chop off his finger or you don't, you get $1,000 just to be the person to sit here and watch it. And what do you got? You'll get just pretty much a story to tell, pretty much type thing.
Well, yeah, it's like we pick the moments that we're going to remember. Are you going to remember being the guy that stayed here and made $1,000 in less than a minute? Or less than 30 seconds or something like that. Yeah. Or you can be the man that walked out and got $100 for less than a minute worth of work.
Yeah.
And then...
What do you say?
Tim Roth just goes, okay. Yeah. But like right before, something that kind of horrified me right before he did his whole like putting out the money and his whole spiel is he grabbed the bottle of Stoli vodka, poured it in his hands, and then washed his face with it.
Oh, yeah.
To kind of like sober him up. Because it got in his eyes and he's like, I was like, that is some psycho behavior, sir.
Oh, hell yeah. Dude.
If I was sitting there across from somebody and they did that, I'd be like, actually, I'm not interested. I'm good.
No, also, it's like the way that as like the like hundreds kept stacking up one after another as Chester was like doing his spiel too. I loved how like you could kind of see like Ted, like Tim Roth's like facial, like just kind of get like a little bit more like, it seems stoic, but you can tell that there's that energy. Like as the more money goes, he's just kind of like,
Because not for nothing. I mean, this has been a shitty night for him, but he's made some money.
No, well, and he's maybe has made some money. I mean,
we're talking about 1,500 already.
I mean, he made 500 for that.
1,600.
But yeah. So I mean, well, now it's just like an extra 1,000. Yeah, just like, or now that 1,000 on top of it, just like. And I mean, Chester is super convincing with it too. That his speeches are just like on point.
Yeah.
They're really good.
It's like, oh yeah, that's what.
And so I love for that, as I was talking about in my review. Like, this is his first actual choice, really, of the night.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's the simplest choice of and I just love how it's all right. We're gonna do it. Okay, here we go. They get all set up, and Norman pulls out his lucky lighter, and the camera slowly zooms in.
This shot was amazing. My jaw dropped.
Zooms in, and then just the nothing lights cuts really quick to that finger getting chopped off, and then just Norman.
And then Ted grabs his money and then walks out.
Literally grabs, just swiftly folds the money. Puts it into his pocket, does his little like saunter, dance out with the cart, and the camera just kind of follows to like that, like to the like long hallway shot,
like leading from the elevator to the penthouse.
Yeah, it's like it's like you see the elevator in the background, and it's just like down that hallway, and you just hear chaos ensuing off camera, and the credits start to roll. And you just kind of watch as the credits roll, them all struggle like to get Norman out the door with his finger on ice. And like they forget the finger, and then Tarantino runs back to get the ice. Then he trips and the ice spills everywhere. And like, where's my fucking finger?
They're like picking it up. Yeah. Leo's on the phone because earlier they mentioned that he had set up like emergency surgery for if they went through with it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then you hear him on the phone calling his like assistant or whatever. And like the surgery is not, I can't remember. He says something, but basically it hasn't been like finalized, so now they don't have like a surgeon at the ready for them.
Yeah,
which like they were planning to.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
yeah, they're on the ground picking up the ice, and my favorite part is Angela is just sauntering very slowly behind them.
Yeah, she's like, I'm gonna go back to my room. It's like, whoa, and he's like, no, I'm gonna take the stairs.
Yeah, she's got like her bathing suit, and she's still wearing the robe and the towel, and she just like gets up behind him, waiting for the elevator opening. She just goes down the stairs, but then Norman's in the elevator by himself as the door starts to close. It's just it's like a beautiful moment of chaos. Like exactly. It's really good.
And I mean, it's strangely a perfect ending to this movie.
Yeah, and it's just like I liked that there wasn't like build up to the like, okay, get the finger, it just goes pop and then
pop. It's like pop, poo, poo.
Yeah, it's just you're like, oh, it's like, over.
Oh, and they just see, oh shit, it just happened. Yeah,
yeah.
I love it. God, I love this fucking movie.
I guess that's like that's it, right?
Yeah, that's it.
I guess like my final, I enjoyed it, and if you're a fan of any of these directors, and obviously watch it, and even if you're not, I mean, it's an interesting kind of like take on anthology.
Like, if you're a fan of dark comedy, like
I would say watch this.
Yeah,
but like me personally, I probably wouldn't watch this again unless a few years have gone by.
That's fair.
Like 4 years from now, maybe I'll be like, yeah,
I mean,
sure.
It's definitely not a thing. Like I don't. I mean, I could watch this movie a couple of times a week. Actually,
really?
Dude, I love this movie. But for me, there's a lot more of it of watching Tim Roth's performance. You know,
Tim Roth was really great. I mean, it was also fun doing this episode because this is something I've never seen before. So it was fun to do something completely new and not really have an idea of what I was walking into.
Yeah.
So that was fun, and I enjoyed it, but I just don't think I could watch it again.
Or maybe like if maybe someone was like putting it on and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't be against it, but I wouldn't go out of my way to put it on. And I'll look through my collection again to see if I have it. I don't remember seeing it.
Oh yeah, because I could have. I know I own it. Anthony might have it. To be honest, I don't know.
I'll look again.
Someone else could have it as well. Like I said, like it might just be gone, which is fine. But yeah, I recommend people to watch it.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, watch it. I don't care what you live your life.
But do you, yeah, I don't know. I was gonna try to go back into my review a little bit. It's like, you know, how I was like tying in like it's the movie ends in a sense of like nothing that just happened really matters in a way, you know. But there's a catharsis to it.
Yeah, but it kind of like ties into what Chester was saying. It's like, well, if nothing really matters, but he got a lot of stories out of it.
Yeah.
He got a lot of moments to remember, you know.
And I mean, that was kind of hard writing the reviews, like, because this is so much, it's a story about what Ted goes through. So, like, it's like his character arc is like the journey of the movie.
God, Tim Roth's got some teeth on him.
Yeah, he fucking does. And this is a young Tim Roth, too.
Sharp. Oh, and I just thought of, too, if you don't remember exactly who Tim Roth is, something big that I feel like a lot of people might have just seen trailers for is that show Lie to Me.
Yeah.
That was like his big TV show he did.
It was only like a couple of seasons, though.
Yeah, but I mean, it was I remember really enjoying it.
That's fair.
And it's also like Tim Roth, though. Oh, or no, he's Abomination in the Edward Norton Incredible Hulk.
Yep,
there you go.
He's also in Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, but if you don't watch those, I'm trying to think of more like
non-Tarantino
things.
The cast of this is actually pretty great because you can tell like so many of these people have worked together, you know.
Yeah, and that's like a thing is with like, you know, like I think I mentioned earlier, is they just like to, because even Bruce Willis isn't credited in this, and there was it was a favor to.
I think it was kind of like a surprise thing. Like nobody would know that he was in it, and then all of a sudden he just has that small role, you know.
No, I was reading it was actually like it was just going to be a favor to Tarantino.
Oh,
like just I'll do it. But then there was some kind of thing about if he wasn't getting paid, he couldn't be on the credits.
Oh,
it was like a legal thing.
I see.
With like the actors union or something like that.
Okay.
I can't remember.
Yeah, that sounds like a union thing.
Yeah, actually, so it was like you can be in this, but you can't. You'll get sued.
You can't get a credit. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll get sued if you get a credit.
Yeah, because the union can sue you if you don't follow their rules.
Yeah, so there was something like that. That's why he wasn't credited.
Okay, that makes sense.
But I did like seeing a really drunk Bruce Willis.
Oh yeah,
that was fun. I don't know what it was about that. He was being just belligerent.
It's a very docile in a way, Bruce Willis, with some like spurts of anger.
Well, yeah, there's like because he has a spurts of anger when he's talking to his wife, but when he's when they're getting like talking, convincing him about chopping off the finger, Ted, it just Bruce is sitting there with that.
Weird party hat.
The weird party hat
with his New Year's party hat. Yeah.
But like doing that drunk guy thing, he's like propped up on the bar, looks like he's falling asleep, and is just kind of reacting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh? You know, the kind of the bobble, the head bobble. Like
Yep.
I just thought it was really fun.
I think we're at the end here.
What's your favorite Tarantino movie?
Pulp Fiction.
What's your favorite Rodriguez movie?
Probably The Faculty. I can't really think of any others off the top of my head.
I like Grindhouse for Rodriguez.
I still haven't seen Grindhouse, actually.
I like Planet Terror more specifically.
Yeah.
Death Proof is okay, but I like Planet Terror. And then Reservoir Dogs. Okay, it's a tie between Reservoir Dogs, Django, or Inglourious.
That's a three weird tie.
Yeah. I really like
I'm a
those.
much bigger fan of his earlier stuff. Tarantino's earlier stuff.
That's the thing. I'm not a big fan of his earlier stuff. I like his later.
Really?
I don't really care for Pulp Fiction very much.
Pulp Fiction is one of those movies that if I put it on, I have to watch it.
You're just gonna watch it.
Yeah, because it pulls me in, and there's every time I watch that movie, I find something more. I find something new with it. It's kind of like The Shining. Like,
yeah, I can see that.
Every time I watch it, I find something new, or discover something new, and it's just, I think it's actually Tarantino's best film he's ever made.
That's fair. Like I don't even really like Kill Bill that much.
Kill Bill's fun.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, probably.
Oh wait, no, Tarantino did Death Proof.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was saying I like Grindhouse.
Yeah.
And I like Planet Terror, but that's Rodriguez, and then Death Proof is
Tarantino. Yeah.
So yeah, so my okay,
Death Proof is your favorite Tarantino?
No.
Oh.
I was saying Grindhouse as a whole, and then I was like, actually no, I like Planet Terror a lot more than I like Death Proof, and I was like, oh, so that just fits into the Rodriguez because I like Planet Terror. Oh yeah. I'm gonna go with Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah, that'd probably be my second one.
I can sit through that a lot.
Or I don't know. I love Reservoir Dogs too. Actually, this short might be easily one of my favorite Tarantino things. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like maybe my second favorite from outside of Pulp Fiction, because like I love the build up to this final scene with Tarantino in Four Rooms. Like it's just, oh man, yeah. I feel like it's one of the better written things that Tarantino's ever done, dialogue wise.
I think his dialogue is like phenomenal.
Yeah. But yeah, I really think we need to wrap it up now.
Okay. Well, so thank you for listening.
Yeah.
You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, our website, TommyandJacobsMixtape.com. Is that it?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. iTunes. You can find us on iTunes too.
Oh yeah, you can find us on iTunes now.
Mm-hmm.
Forgot about that.
And I think, yeah. Well, thank you guys for listening. This was a little longer one, so we kept it to about an hour and a half, which is pretty good. I feel, especially for like this movie this movie's only an hour and 37 minutes as well.
Yeah, but there's a lot going on.
It's just so much shit happens. Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for listening.
This is Tommy,
and this is Jacob.
This is Tommy Jacobs
Mixtape.
And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Get the vaccine.